these are the 5 running backs that I think that will have the most success this season, building on from last season's success. So, number 1, let's start right there at the top, giving you the best running back going into the 2022 NFL season, and look no further than Indianapolis, Indiana, the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan JT Taylor, JT himself. The guys, he will be the best running back in the NFL this season. He'll be going into his 3rd season. They have a great offensive line. They hopefully have found that quarterback situation and, will excel in the passing game to open up the running game even more. The defense is damn good as well. So Jonathan Taylor, for the Indianapolis Colts, I feel will definitely have the best season in 2022, because let's look at his last 2 seasons here. His rookie year, he had 232 rushing attempts for almost 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns, and how many touchdowns did he have? He averaged 7.7 yards a carry. Wow. No. That's not right. That's not right. 5 yards a carry. 5 yards attempt. Okay. I mean, still 7 yards is pretty intense, but 5 is pretty damn good too, especially for a rookie. Last season, 332 attempts, 1,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5.5 yards a carry. So if we add science into our thought process here, he is bound to break 2,000 yards this season. He is bound to get 15, 16 touchdowns. He is bound to rush for 6 yards a carry. Hell, it would not surprise me if he jumps that up one full yard and it gets to 6.5. Jonathan Taylor is going to be a man to be reckoned with this season. If you are a fantasy owner, definitely draft him early and draft him often, because Matt Ryan is definitely going to add to the passing game. They're going to open it up. So therefore, by default facto, adding in your science, carry the 2, he's going to get the ball a lot. He is going to get the ball a lot. Now, running back number 2, if my page will load, it is going to be Naji Harris. Naji Harris is a Pittsburgh Steelers running back, obviously from last season, and he was a rookie last season. Last season, he had 307 attempts for 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3.9 yards per carry. However, Big Ben was not himself, right, last season. He was definitely on his last leg. Big Ben was kind of going through the motions at the last part of the season. Now, you have Mitchell Trubisky, you have Kenny Pickett, you have Mason Rudolph like in there. No matter what quarterback they have besides Mason Rudolph, half ahead him like himself, they're going to be able to push the ball down the field a little bit more, I should say. And just like Jonathan Taylor, who I think is going to have the best season this year out of all these running backs, it is going to open up the rushing game for Naji Harris even more. Yes, they do have a pretty damn good backup in Benny Snell as well, but Naji Harris is definitely going to get the bulk of the carries this season. It would not surprise me if he's right around 300 rushing attempts this season. I'm looking for 15, 16, 1,700 yards and even more yards out of the backfield. He is going to be the Christian McCaffrey for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he is going to be healthy. He is going to have a very long career there in Pittsburgh, and they better use and abuse him while he's still young. Try to get the most out of him, because after that 4th, 5th year is up, he is going to be looking at some Le'Veon Bell money when he went to the Jets. I mean, he is going to be that freaking good. And it just, guys, look out. Naji Harris is going to be another guy on a mission 100% this year. So just to recap, the number 1 top running back going into 2022, I have Jonathan Taylor for the Indianapolis Colts. Number 2, I have Naji Harris for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then coming in at number 3, look no further than the NFC North, the purple and gold, the Minnesota Vikings, and Delvin Cook. Yes, Delvin Cook has not rushed over 1,200 yards ever in his career. His first 2 seasons in the NFL, he had 300 yards and 600 yards, respectively, right? Respectively. However, the last 3 seasons, he has averaged about 260 yards, 260 carries per season, and he had 1,100 yards, 1,500 yards, and 1,200 yards, respectively. Last season, a little bit of down because, that whole offense was a debacle anyways. New head coach, Kirk Kirk Cousins has already got his deal, so he doesn't have to prove anything. And this is the rhythm of the motion here. Good quarterbacks that are able to push the ball down the field, like Kirk Cousins and JJ, and who else did that? Like on that team, the Vikings have a damn good offense, and if it's able to exploit it, which I think they will, Delvin Cook is going to eat this season. He will have another 1,600 yard season, looking at about 16 touchdowns on 300 attempts. So do not sleep on Delvin Cook, because he is going to be flying under the radar all season long. And bada bing, bada boom, he is going to be knocking on that top running back list of the season. So Delvin Cook, I do have coming in at number 3. So if you guys are catching a theme here, most of these running backs are kind of the featured guy, right? Yes, Jonathan Taylor does have Marlon Mack, right? Mack is coming off that injury. We don't know what he is going to be. Naji Harris does have Benny Snell in the backfield, but once again, a very compliment back, but not a feature back like Tony Pollard is or other places, right? But this number 4 running back does have a great 1-2 punch. It is thunder and lightning. It is yin and yang, right? But I think Nick Chubb is going to have the 4th best year in the running back group going into 2022. Now, Nick Chubb does have that right-hand man in Kareem Hunt. So, with that being said, he will take, 100 to 150 of those carries away from him, but that keeps Nick Chubb that much fresher. When you are tired of getting beat down by Nick Chubb, having to chase Kareem Hunt around, hell, you're going to have to chase Deshaun Watson around. They should have a pretty prolific passing game as well with Amari, right? This Bears team, this Browns team should be pretty damn good. And when you have a quarterback like Deshaun Watson, you guys are catching the theme here, able to push the ball down the field, able to really exploit the defense, Nick Chubb is going to eat. Yes, he will not get 2,000 yards by any means. He will not have 300 carries, but he will have 220, 250 carries, around 1,600 yards. Let's look at his past season here. His rookie year, 2018, 1,000 yards, 192 rushing attempts. 2019, 300 attempts, 1,500 yards. 2020, a little under 200 attempts, just over 1,000 yards. 2021, 225 attempts for 1,300 yards. That's exactly what we can pretty much expect from Nick Chubb. Get the ball and eat and get it filled. He averages over 5 yards a pop. Give Nick the ball, let him eat. Chubb is going to be the 4th-ranked running back going into the 2022 NFL season. Just to recap here, Jonathan Taylor is going to have the best season. Naji Harris will have the 2nd best season. Delvin Cook will come in at number 3. Nick Chubb is going to come in at number 4. And then coming in at number 5, I want you guys to realize that we have not named some of the top running backs in the league that many people think. CMC, right? Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Clyde Edwards, right? Those names are not falling on the list. The Adams kid from the Packers, right? None of those names are falling on the list because they are not going to have a good season in 2022. You know who else is not going to have a very good season in 2022? King Henry. King Henry is definitely going to fall out of the top 10 in this year's running class as well. But a player that is going to rebound, finally, Mike McCarthy is going to start to use him correctly. Going to give him the ball. Let the man eat. Feed him. That's Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott will have the 5th best season in the running back room going into the 2022 NFL season. Dallas Cowboys running back. Zeke had definitely a down year last year. Just had 1,000 yards, 240 carries. Definitely not his worst season. 2020 was the worst. 979 yards. But then previously he had 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards in his rookie season, 1,700 yards for 322 carries. Carries has dramatically gone about down 10 to 15 per season. And this year, I think he is going to break the trend. We are going to break that science mold, and we are going to give Zeke the ball. We are going to feed him. He signed that big contract, and basically, you have to use and abuse Zeke the next couple years. Make him earn that $100 million contract that he had, right? Now, people can say the same thing about Tony Pollard as well. You have Tony Pollard on a rookie deal. Use him and abuse him. Wash him up and let him leave. No. The reason why I say no to that is because you can probably sign Tony Pollard long term for a pretty good deal if you don't use and abuse him right now. Keep him as a complimentary back. Get a 100 yard or a 100 carries, 150 carries this season. Use and abuse Zeke. Give the Zeke the ball 300 times this season. Hell, I'd be happy with 400 times. Give him the ball. Let him eat, because Zeke gets better when he gets in the rhythm of the game. He is much like King Henry. If you watch the Tennessee Titans and Derrick Henry run the ball, first quarter, second quarter, even most of the third quarter, Derrick Henry isn't very good. He isn't very elective. He isn't very electric. He doesn't really, break those big runs and stiff arm people, throw them on the dirt. When does he do that? The fourth quarter, because he is basically better than everybody else in the fourth quarter because he's better conditioned. He does better when it's time to eat. That's exactly what Zeke does. Look at him back at Ohio State. Yes, I did see a stat where he was clocked at 22 miles an hour. Zeke isn't your speed, I'm going to juke you out, Barry Sanders guy. He has speed and he has power. He is going to lower the shoulder and he's going to put your dick in the dirt. Let Zeke do that 20 to 30 times a game. Use and abuse Zeke Elliott this season. The Dallas Cowboys will win the Super Bowl if they do this, but Zeke will have the 5th best season going into the 2022. So just to recap, I'll go 5-1. At number 5, as best running backs going into the 2022 season, or actually who is going to have the best season, I should say, Zeke at number 5, Nick Chubb at 4, Delvin Cook at number 3, Naji Harris at 2, and Jonathan J.T. Taylor at number 1 for the Indianapolis Colts. So